All right, today we're doing something pretty ambitious. We're going to take 3 decades of rock-solid investment wisdom and boil it down into one simple, actionable blueprint for financial freedom. Seriously, this isn't about getting lucky or chasing the next hot trend. It's about building a system that makes growing your wealth practically inevitable. So let's just start with the big one, right? How do people really get rich? Is there some secret stock pick? Is it just a crazy stroke of luck? Or is there a reliable system that anyone, and I mean anyone, can actually follow? Well, we're about to unpack that exact system right now.
You know, the experts say there are really only 3 ways to get wealthy. First, you can marry it. Second, you can win it, like the lottery. And hey, we wouldn't say no to either of those. But let's be real, they're not exactly a strategy you can count on. So that leaves us with the third path, the most powerful one. You build it yourself. And that is exactly what we're here to figure out.
But what are we building for? I mean, this isn't just about piling up money in a bank account. The real goal is what our source calls the wealth trinity. That's the freedom to be with your family, the peace of mind to take care of your health, and, the power to live life completely on your own terms. This blueprint we're talking about, it's designed to make that trinity not just some far-off dream, but a mathematical reality.
Okay, so where do we start? Step 1 is the absolute foundation of everything, and it's as much a mental game as it is a financial one. It's all about creating the habit of ownership by paying your future self first. This is where almost everyone messes up, but it is, without a doubt, the most important part of the whole plan. Just look at the difference here. For most people, a paycheck hits the bank, and whoosh, it's immediately flying out the door to pay everyone else: the landlord, the credit card, the streaming services. The blueprint flips that completely upside down. The very first person who gets a piece of your paycheck is you. Not today you, but future you.
And here's the rule. It's so simple. Automate it. Just set up an automatic transfer for 10% or heck, even 5% to start. Have that money move from your checking to your investment account the instant your paycheck lands. I promise you won't even feel it, but your future self, they're going to thank you for it big time.
This is the mindset shift that changes everything. Saving isn't just whatever's left over at the end of the month. No, think of it as a bill. In fact, think of it as the single most important bill you have to pay, because it's the one you owe to the most important person in your life, the person you're going to be in 10, 20, or 30 years. So you've started paying yourself first. That's the engine. Now we need to add the accelerator. And that brings us to the second principle, which is all about understanding that time is your greatest superpower. It's the most powerful and honestly kind of magical tool you have for growth.
Let me give you a really powerful example. Let's say you're looking for a new car. You've got your eye on a model that's, say, 35 grand. But instead, you decide to buy a perfectly good, reliable used car for 10,000. That leaves you with a $25,000 difference. Now you take that and you invest it.
And now for the magic part. We let our accelerator, time, do all the work. We just let that money sit. We don't touch it. We let it grow for 30 years in a simple investment. So, take a guess. What do you think happens to that 25 grand over 3 decades?
It turns into $500,000. Yeah, $500,000. That is the unbelievable, life-altering power of compound growth over a long period. One single decision made one time can have a gigantic impact on the rest of your life.
The best way to think about it is like planting a garden. Your savings, those are the seeds you plant. Sticking with it, being consistent, that's the water. And time is the sun. It just does the heavy lifting for you, turning those tiny seeds into something amazing.
Okay, so we're saving automatically and we're letting time do its thing. But where do we actually put the money? This leads us to the third piece of the blueprint. A surprisingly simple method for finding great investments that literally takes about 15 minutes. The whole secret is to find what investors call a margin of safety. Now that sounds fancy, but it just means you're buying something for way less than it's actually worth. It's like finding a priceless antique at a garage sale for $5. That huge gap between the price you paid and what it's truly worth, that's your margin of safety.
And here's the best part. You do not need an advanced degree in finance for this. In fact, here's a great rule of thumb. If you have to pull out a spreadsheet and a calculator to figure out if it's a good deal, it's probably not a good enough deal. You're looking for the bargains that are, as the pros say, blindingly obvious.
So how do you find these obvious deals? Well, you look for quality businesses that are predictable. You look for companies that have a wide moat. That's a really strong competitive advantage that keeps rivals away. Think about a massive soda company. You know what they sell, you know people will be buying it next year and the year after that. That kind of predictability is what you're looking for.
This right here is the biggest mental shift you can make. You have to stop thinking like a customer and start thinking like an owner. Don't just be the person who buys a $5 coffee every morning. Be the person who owns a tiny piece of the global machine that sells billions of those coffees all over the world.
All right, we've come to the final and maybe most important piece of the puzzle. This one isn't about math or spreadsheets, it's about psychology. To protect everything you've worked so hard to build, you have to learn how to avoid paying the silent, wealth-destroying envy tax. See, the biggest single threat to your entire plan is something called lifestyle inflation. It's what happens when you get a raise at work, and instead of saving and investing that extra money, your spending just expands. Your car gets a little nicer, your dinners get a little fancier, you're making more, but you're still stuck on the same financial treadmill.
And what's driving this? More often than not, it's envy. It's that classic trap of trying to keep up with the Joneses. And it leads to this ridiculous cycle of buying stuff you don't even need with money you don't really have, all to impress people you probably don't even like that much. It's a game that is rigged for you to lose every single time.
And this just says it all, doesn't it? Our culture tells us that wealth is all the stuff you can see, the expensive watch, the brand new car. But true wealth, the real deal, is what you can't see. It's freedom. It's the ability to wake up in the morning and decide what you want to do with your day. It's being able to be there, truly present for your family. That's real wealth.
So that's the blueprint, really. Pay yourself first, let the power of time do the hard work, look for obvious bargains, and focus on what actually matters instead of what other people are doing. The ideas themselves, they're not complicated. The hard part, the part that really counts, is putting them into practice day after day.
And that brings me to this final thought from the investing legend Charlie Munger. He said, "Take a simple idea and take it seriously." This blueprint, this is that simple idea. The only question left is, are you going to be one of the few who actually takes it seriously?